You're seriously asking us for money? My brother's wife Jenna laughed, the sound cold and condescending as it bounced off the sterile walls of my hospital room. We've got our own bills, inflation is insane, and the twins need new phones. She stood there in a sleek beige coat, acrylic nails tapping on her Apple Watch, while I lay in bed recovering from unexpected intestinal surgery. Jenna, I said softly, trying to steady my breath, you and Ethan lived in my condo rent-free for 5 years. I just need a little help with the medical bills, that's all. Her eyes narrowed, lips curling. Ugh, are we really bringing up the condo again? You act like we didn't take care of it. That counts for something. This isn't our problem, Rachel. My name is Rachel Lynn, and at 39 I was learning that family support isn't always mutual. Back in 2019, when Ethan's startup imploded and they were suddenly jobless with 2 toddlers, I took them in. I was a software developer with a solid income and had just bought a 2-bedroom condo in Seattle. It'll just be 6 months, Ethan had said. It turned into half a decade. Now, lying in the hospital with my savings drained from multiple procedures, I was met with indifference. The twins need new phones? I echoed, stunned. Jenna shrugged. Don't be dramatic. You've always been the smart one. You'll figure it out. And Ethan's got something big brewing again, she added. Right. Another business venture. I'd lost count of how many had crashed and burned. You should have planned better, Jenna said, snapping a selfie before glancing at the time. Anyway, I've got to run. The contractor's coming to check out the kitchen. We're thinking of opening up the space a bit. My stomach churned, not from the surgery. That kitchen is ancient, Jenna had sniffed. The decorator says it's ruining our whole social media vibe. I winced as I tried to sit up, pain flaring in my abdomen. Jenna, you can't remodel my condo without permission. You're not even paying rent. She gave me a tilted smile, too casual. Yeah, about that, let's talk when you're feeling better. Rest up, Rach. With that, she swayed out of the hospital room, trailing behind a cloud of citrus perfume and a sense of mounting dread. That evening, my best friend Naomi dropped by. Unlike Jenna, she came bearing actual homemade ramen and concern instead of condescension. When I told her about Jenna's remodeling comment, her expression turned from shocked to suspicious. Rachel, something's off, Naomi said, pulling out her tablet. As a real estate lawyer, she had access to things I didn't. Have you checked your property records lately? I blinked. No. Why would I? I've owned that place for 10 years. Her fingers moved quickly across the screen, eyes narrowing. When's the last time you actually saw your deed? I hesitated. It was in my filing cabinet, in the home office. My voice trailed off. The same home office that Jenna's oldest had converted into a makeshift bedroom. The same cabinet I hadn't touched in months because the twins had turned the space into a study zone. Naomi spun her screen around. My blood went cold. It was my condo. Except the ownership had changed. A transfer had been filed 3 months ago, right around the time I first fell ill. This can't be real, I whispered. I never signed anything. Are you sure? Naomi asked gently. My mind raced. Jenna handing me papers to sign, real quick, always smiling, always in a rush. I looked at Naomi. She played me. Naomi nodded. We're calling in Marcus from fraud, but quietly. If this is what I think it is, we need to be careful. And for the first time in weeks, I felt something stronger than fear. Determination. Maybe it was the meds, or maybe it was that strange clarity that hits when you finally pull the mask off years of manipulation. Tell me what to do, I said quietly. Over the next few days while I recovered in the hospital, Naomi and Marcus built a case. They discovered a string of shady documents, each conveniently filed during the peaks of my medical crises. Jenna had clearly been planning this for months, maybe longer. The signatures are close, Marcus explained during one visit, but there are clear inconsistencies, slanted letters, odd spacing. It's not you. He tapped a line on one of the PDFs. And this notary stamp belongs to someone whose license was revoked 6 months ago. Sloppy work. They didn't think you'd ever look. I thought of Jenna's smirk when she mentioned the remodel, the way she brushed off my questions like I was a nuisance, not the owner. She thought I was too nice, too trusting, too broken to fight back. What's next? I asked. Naomi leaned in, her eyes blazing. We document everything: unauthorized changes, false signatures, any weird conversations. When you're stronger, we make our move. I glance at the stack of hospital bills on the tray table, and in the meantime, Naomi gave me a sly smile. We let them think they've won. I was discharged a week later thanks to a payment plan I scraped together. Jenna didn't offer to pick me up. She was too busy bossing around her decorator. Naomi drove me back, but the sight that met us made my chest tighten. My once pristine craftsman condo looked like a construction zone. Lumber, insulation, and tile samples were everywhere. Through the window, I saw the workers gutting the vintage cabinets I'd restored by hand. Jenna stood in the driveway, directing like a reality show host. "Oh, you're back," she chirped. "Perfect timing. We're going for a full kitchen transformation. Great social media potential." I leaned on Naomi's arm, partly from fatigue, partly to keep myself from lunging at her. "Jenna, this is my home. You can't—" "Actually," she interrupted, all saccharine sweetness, "it's our home now. Don't you remember? You signed it over, a generous gift, after everything we've been through." "Really, Rachel?" she added. "The meds must be clouding your memory." Her husband Ethan appeared at the doorway, silent, as always. "And since this is our house now," she continued, "we think it's best if you recover elsewhere. All this noise can't be good for your health. Naomi has space, right?" I felt Naomi tense beside me. I squeezed her arm. "Not yet." "Of course," I murmured. "Just let me grab a few things from my room." "Oh, we moved your stuff to the garage," Jenna said airily. "Didn't want construction dust ruining your things." I smiled, tight-lipped. So thoughtful. "Just my meds and a change of clothes for now." A worker emerged with 2 boxes in my medication bag. Jenna was already back to fabric samples and backsplash colors. Naomi and I drove off in silence, until I finally let the tears fall, but not out of despair, out of clarity, out of fire. "They really think they've won," I whispered. Naomi smirked. "They don't know Marcus filed for an emergency injunction, or that you installed hidden cameras months ago." I turned toward her, a small smile creeping onto my face. "Didn't tell anyone. Thought I was being paranoid. Turns out, I wasn't paranoid enough." Naomi's grin widened. "You were smart. You trusted your gut even when your heart wanted to keep giving chances." As we pulled into her driveway, I thought about Jenna's smug confidence, her belief that I'd stay quiet, like always. "How soon until we move?" I asked. Naomi checked the mirror, her voice steady. "Marcus is expediting the injunction. We've got enough to act soon, but let them keep renovating. Every dollar they pour in without legal rights just strengthens your case." I nodded. For years, I let things slide in the name of peace. Not this time. This time, I wouldn't panic. I wouldn't beg. I would wait, observe, and when the moment was right, I'd take back everything they tried to steal. "They think I'm weak," I murmured, staring out the window as Naomi's car passed rows of cozy Seattle homes. "They think, because I've always been the nice one, I'll let this go too." Naomi parked in her driveway and cut the engine. "Then they never knew you at all," she said. "The real you, the woman who put herself through engineering school, restored a century-old home by hand, and built a career while they played house with your property." She was right. Somewhere along the way, I let Jenna's version of me, the pushover, the peacekeeper, the doormat, become truth. But not anymore. "Get some rest," Naomi said as she helped me inside. "You'll need your strength for what's coming." I settled into her guest room, surrounded by the 2 boxes I'd salvaged from my own home. That night my phone buzzed with a text from Jenna. "The decorator thinks we should turn your old room into a home gym. The kids need a winter space. Hope you're healing." I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my laptop and logged into the hidden camera feed. There she was, Jenna, parading through my home with the decorator, calling out changes like it was her kingdom. "We'll need all new appliances," she said. "Maybe knock down this wall, too. The old Rachel had such dated taste." She actually rolled her eyes when she said my name. I closed the laptop, breathing slowly. They thought they'd won, thought their fraud had bought them my silence. But oh, they had no idea what was coming. 2 weeks passed. From Naomi's guest room, I healed and watched. Every day brought a new delivery: premium stoves, marble counters, voice-activated lighting. All of it bought with money from a fraudulent home equity loan, taken out in my name. They've burned through over $150K already, Marcus reported during one of our evening meetings. The paperwork's a mess, half the forms unsigned or inconsistent. They were in a rush, sloppy. Naomi laid more documents across the dining table, now our makeshift war room. Their contractor isn't licensed for structural work, she added, and they never pulled permits for that wall they knocked down. I sipped my coffee, energy returning. Do we have enough? Marcus nodded. Between the forged signatures, revoked notary, and hidden footage, yes. We could file tomorrow. But, Naomi smirked, let's give them just a little more rope. The more they do without legal ownership, the deeper they bury themselves. Every unauthorized dollar they spent was building my case. Just then, another text pinged on my phone. The new kitchen is amazing. My followers are loving the reno. When are you grabbing the rest of your stuff from the garage? Kids need space for their gaming setup. I showed it to Naomi and Marcus. They're about to dump my things, aren't they? Naomi's jaw tightened. Not if I can help it. I'll send my brother Tom with a truck tomorrow. He can pretend he's from a junk removal service. That night, I watched more footage. Jenna was live streaming from my kitchen. This space was a disaster before, she gushed to her followers. The previous owner had no sense of style, but look at it now. Mike appeared behind her, face tense. Maybe don't post so much. What if Rachel sees? Jenna laughed, the same cruel laugh from my hospital bed. Please, she's probably still crying at Naomi's place. Besides, it's ours now. She can't prove anything. I closed the laptop and smiled. The next morning, Tom arrived with his truck. Through the cameras, I watched Jenna wave dismissively toward the garage. Take whatever, she said. It's all junk anyway. Perfect. Let them throw away the evidence. We were already collecting justice. But it wasn't junk. It was my life. Photo albums. My grandfather's antique drafting table. The quilt my mom had stitched before she passed. Tom loaded each item with care, treating my memories with more respect in an hour than my own family had in 5 years. Your stuff's safe, he texted me. We got it all before they could toss anything. You wouldn't believe what Jenna was saying. Oh, but I would. I'd spent most of my adult life believing her cruelty was just her way. That family meant tolerating the intolerable. That evening, Naomi sat beside me with a glass of wine and an update. Contractors say they'll finish the major renovations next week. Jenna's planning some massive reveal party. All her influencer friends are invited. I scrolled through Jenna's social media. Video tours. Hashtagged captions. Dream home. Total transformation. From drab to fab. She was using my stolen home as a stage to build her brand. Let her have the party, I said quietly. Marcus looked up. You sure? We could act now, shut this whole thing down before she goes public. I shook my head slowly. I want her to reach the peak of her delusion. Let everyone see what she built on a lie. Naomi smiled. For someone they think is weak, you've got a cold streak. I'm an engineer, I reminded her. I know how to calculate collapse. That night I couldn't sleep. Jenna's words from the hospital echoed. You're always throwing that in our faces. As if my generosity had been a weapon. As if letting them live rent-free in my home was a burden I should apologize for. And Mike? Always silent, always complicit. His name was on the fake documents too. He wasn't innocent. Just a different kind of weak. My phone lit up again. Parties next Saturday, you should come. Might not even recognize the place, we finally brought it into this century. I showed the message to Naomi the next morning. She raised an eyebrow. You want to go? I smiled. Oh, I wouldn't miss it for the world. The next few days were a blur of paperwork and legal prep. Marcus pulled the final loan records, proving they'd borrowed against my property without consent. Naomi drafted court documents, restraining orders, fraud charges, the injunction. Meanwhile, I watched the circus unfold through my hidden cameras. Jenna brought in caterers, a photographer, even a florist. This is going to launch me, she told Mike in my kitchen. Finally, I get out from under Rachel's shadow. Mike shifted awkwardly. Maybe we should have just asked her to sell it legally. Jenna scoffed. Please, she never would let go of it. She loved being the one who rescued us. Then she smirked. Well, guess who needs rescuing now? I closed my laptop, her voice still echoing. I had never tried to overshadow her. I had only ever tried to help. That evening, Naomi brought me tea. You ready for tomorrow? I nodded. I used to think kindness made me weak, that family meant giving without limits. Naomi sat beside me. And now? Now I know strength is standing up for yourself, even when it's against the people who should have stood up for you. The day of the party arrived. Clear skies, warm sun, perfect for a fall of epic proportions. From Naomi's car, parked a few houses down, I watched everything through the cameras. Jenna was in full glam mode, greeting influencers and live streaming from my front porch. Welcome to our fully renovated dream home, she beamed, from disaster to designer chic. Marcus checked his watch. Sheriff's team is ready, just say the word. Through the feed, I saw guests snapping selfies in front of my demolished kitchen, clinking glasses under my antique beams. Naomi leaned forward. They have no idea, they're recording their own downfall. I watched Jenna raise her champagne. Cheers to our fresh start. Not quite, I whispered. And I gave Marcus the signal. When we first moved in with my sister, this place was so outdated. Jenna beamed, raising her champagne glass to the crowd. But sometimes life hands you unexpected opportunities. And now, total transformation. An influencer's dream. That was our cue. I pulled out my phone and texted one word to Marcus. Now, within minutes, the quiet street exploded with flashing lights. Police cars and sheriff's vehicles surrounded the house. Through the hidden camera feed, I watched confusion ripple across the crowd as uniformed officers entered from both the front and back doors. Jenna Lynn? A firm voice cut through the noise. We have a warrant regarding fraudulent property transfer and unauthorized equity loans. Her champagne glass slipped from her hand, shattering across the hardwood floor she had installed, without permits. This is ridiculous, she shouted. This is our house, we have paperwork. Fraudulent paperwork, Marcus said as he stepped forward, holding a thick folder full of forged signatures and a revoked notary stamp. That's when Naomi and I walked in. Phones turned. People gasped. Jenna froze. Hello, sis, I said calmly, surveying the party. Nice turnout. Rachel? Her voice cracked. What are you doing here? You can't. Actually, I interrupted, I can, because this is my house. Always has been. And I have all the proof. Every forged document, every illegal loan, every text and conversation recorded. Mike, pale and trembling, stepped forward. We can explain. You already did, I cut him off. To the cameras. Every time you joked about tricking me while I was sick, it's all there. Jenna's carefully curated world collapsed in real time. Her followers' phones were still up, still streaming. Are they being arrested? One influencer asked. Property fraud is serious, Marcus replied loudly. Ad forgery, illegal loans, and unlicensed construction? Yeah, they're being arrested. As officers cuffed Jenna and Mike, I saw the horror dawn on her face. This wasn't just a takedown. It was public. Wait, she cried. The renovations, our things. You mean my things? I said. In my house? The squad cars pulled away as the guests began quietly slipping out. Their phones had likely already uploaded every humiliating second. Jenna's reveal had turned into a full-blown exposé. Naomi glanced over. You okay? I looked around, at the mess, at the remnants of a party meant to celebrate my stolen home. And for the first time in months, I was, yeah, I whispered. I really am. 6 months later, I stood in my kitchen, running my fingers across the vintage cabinets I'd restored, again. The court had ordered Jenna and Mike to repay every cent they spent on renovations. I used the money to repair the damage, but on my terms. Jenna and Mike took a plea deal. Last I heard, they moved to Florida. Jenna's influencer career never recovered. Every time she posted, someone brought up the live stream of her arrest. The biggest surprise? Their kids. My nieces and nephews reached out on their own, apologized. The oldest, now in college, even visited. You taught me what integrity looks like, she said. One quiet morning, Naomi joined me for coffee. This place looks better than ever, she smiled. It feels better, I replied, pouring from the vintage coffee pot her brother had saved from the garage. Later that day, Marcus stopped by with a grin. The last of the fraudulent loans is cleared. Your credit's not just restored, it's better than before. Thank you, I said. Both of you. I couldn't have done this alone. Naomi laughed. You installed the cameras, you kept the records, you played the long game, you did the hard part. I looked around. The medical bills were gone, my health had stabilized, and so had something inside me. Because now I knew, family isn't about blood, it's about loyalty, truth, support, the people who lift you up instead of tearing you down. I raised my coffee mug to happy endings, not because everything is perfect, but because we earned them. Naomi and Marcus raised theirs too. In that moment, in my reclaimed home, I finally knew. This is what family really looks like. If my story resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment. What would you have done in my shoes? What would you say to someone who's been betrayed by family? Your voice matters, and your support reminds people like me that we're not alone. If you believe in justice and standing up for what's right, help me spread this message. Share this video. Let's show the world that the quiet, kind ones have power too. To anyone out there struggling with betrayal, manipulation, or being constantly overlooked, please hear this. Your kindness is not a weakness. You are allowed to protect your boundaries. You're allowed to say enough. Don't wait for others to recognize your value. Start valuing yourself. Document, plan, breathe, and move smart. You don't have to be loud to be strong. You just have to be sure of your worth. And remember, real family isn't just about blood. It's about who shows up, who respects you, and who celebrates your strength instead of exploiting it. Choose those people. And if you haven't found them yet, keep going. I found mine in the most unexpected places, and so will you. Let's support each other in the comments, encourage each other, and build a space where strength and kindness can coexist. You've got this, and I've got your back.